Scott Hansen, Red Zone, all the football, all the time. It is wonderful. And now it's training camp time. Chuck and I will be heading out west to hang out with the Dallas Cowboys in Oxnard, California for about 10 days. That's going to be absolutely outstanding. And we're building our way into football shape, obviously. So
yeah, this
I
is
would
like
think
best shape of your life season. I've done the opposite of that. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life.
Yeah,
we're in camp.
We're building towards that, but our next guest is always in the best shape of his life. His name is Mario Herron, and he's talking about these not San Diego Chargers. He's talking about these Los Angeles Chargers. Mario, great to have you in, my friend. How the hell are you, and how football horny are you?
Dude, I'm like a 13-year-old. That's how football horny I am. Like a 13-year-old walking into middle school. That's about how excited I am. I'm looking forward to it. We said during break, man. I mean, too much Dame trade and Ohtani trade can only hit that so much. We need some football in our lives. I did a little practice football season today. Went and got Hooters. Took down 15 wings. I was like, all right, can it take it still? Can it take it?
Right.
The body can take it. We're getting there. We're getting better for the football season coming around.
Proud to see you're putting the work in, man.
I know. I love that. You're getting yourself ready. You're prepping. What's the wing order? What do you usually rock with? Ranch, blue cheese? What kind of sauces are you going?
He's a ranch guy.
Oh, dude, 100% ranch guy. And you get 10 hot, and then you get the curly cheese fries. And the great thing about going to the Hooters is it takes so long for them to get you your food that you get it in the third quarter, so you could get the full game. It's not like you get the food too early. So that's the greatest part about it. So that's why I always say, hey, it's one of the best. Yeah.
They time it up. They get the football fan. They know this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. Okay. Don't you dare sprint that food out. Okay. Let him get a little bit hungry. Okay. You got to be hungry going into the fourth quarter. So then you tear it up. So that's a heady play by you, Mario. What's your confidence meter in your Chargers right now that they're doing anything more than just fighting for second place in the division?
Honestly, as we get closer, recently on the Bolt City podcast, we did a thing of what are the worst case scenarios for the Los Angeles Chargers coming up this year. And my biggest one was the Denver Broncos live up to their potential. That is our worst case scenario. That takes a division from a 2-team race between us and the Chiefs, with Chiefs having pretty big lead on us, to a 3-team race. And usually when it goes 3-team race, someone's getting kicked in the nuts and not making it into the playoffs. And that could be us. So honestly, as we get closer and I'm, looking at what futures up bets I'm going to place for this season, I'm getting a little worried because I'm liking Broncos plus 500 to win the AFC West more and more every single day, just because it's can Sean Payton turn this team around? Well, he's a Hall of Fame coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach going against Brandon Staley, who, well, let's just say not a Hall of Fame coach, and kind of blew a big lead to the Jacksonville Jaguars that hurt all of our feelings season before. So I'm excited. I'm also scared. Excited and scared, a little bit of both. Kind of like, when you go out for Halloween and you go to a haunted house. It's you're excited to go in because it's going to be a good time, but you're a little scared for whatever the hell is going to pop out behind you. But I do expect them to have a great season. Got to beat the Broncos, got to sweep them, got to beat the Raiders, and hopefully can stop Russell Wilson from being weird and Patrick Mahomes from talking crap.
It's a good point. I mean, maybe the Sean Payton factor does indeed help and solve a lot of the issues that were there in Denver last year. You mentioned fear, and you mentioned being scared. I feel like one of the biggest things that derails the Chargers every year is the injury bug. This is a team that just for whatever reason cannot stay healthy.
No, it's actually insane. And then you had the Tyrod Taylor thing. People always forget about that. That was the trainer's fault with Tyrod Taylor. And then obviously we get a beautiful Justin Herbert comes in and plays really well. But that happened, and the trainers are still there. And you're like, what are we doing, guys? I'm not saying, yeah. So that always hurts, and it's you got prepared for that, and it's football. It's a physical game, man, and people get hurt. Players are going to get hurt. People are going to miss some time. I'll never forget when week 2 when Herbert got hurt in that game against the Chiefs, and it was 2-minute drill, and he goes to throw, and he stops right here, and you're like, oh my gosh, we're done, season's over, and then next thing you know, I don't know what happens between that and the next play. He just chucks it 60 yards and suddenly he's fine. But then he plays her for the rest of the year, has to get surgery. He's going to be ready for camp. But stuff like that for the Chargers just always comes in our way. And it's just how are we going to get over that? Do we have enough depth to get over that and make sure that we are 100% going into 2023 season?
So how do you feel about the depth? Because I think, for the Chargers, maybe more so than any team, they've got to prepare for that. I mean, Keenan Allen's a guy that can't stay healthy throughout an entire season. We've seen Mike Williams as well get banged up. You add Quentin Johnston, so I think you feel good about the receiving core, but overall, the rest of the roster, where's the biggest hole?
That's a great question.
Running back two. Austin Eckler for the past 2 seasons has not missed a game. He's going to get hurt. He's going to go down. He is, I believe he's 28 years old. I'm also a firm believer, the more you talk in free agency in the offseason, something happens. Like you get hurt, like something happens, man. And like Eckler, whatever you want to do, say about the running backs, you're doing your best. But that's my biggest fear is he gets hurt. And our running back too is Spiller. And like, he didn't show us anything these past couple of years. Not to mention, Eckler was our offense powerhouse. He ran the ball for us. He caught the ball for us because Mike Williams and Keenan Allen missed a whole lot of time. Now, you mentioned it. I think Quentin Johnson's going to be huge for us. He brings the yards after catch that we desperately need because if you watch Charger football, holy hell, does Keenan Allen love to catch the ball and go down right away. Mike Williams loves to catch the ball, go down right away. Then we lose DeAndre Carter, who was kind of our speedster, kind of the guy that is able to do a little dancing with the ball after he caught it. And we kind of lost that. I think he'll help with that. Also, Joshua Palmer showed in flashes that he could step up. And that excites me more. And he was everyone's like player to watch last year. I think when you have a little bit less hype about that is usually when you play better. But 100% RB2, man. If Eckler gets hurt and, we really got to go back to running back. I know it's free pickings. Running backs are everywhere. But it's also very Chargery to not have the running back that you need.
Addition by subtraction, though, when you think about Joe Lombardi, huh?
Oh, I will not miss old Joe. I will not miss him at all. I would have moved him out of his house for him. I would have said, hey, buddy, I got it. I'll get the U-Haul. Like, don't worry about a thing, my man. I got you. Let's get you out of there. Super, super excited to not have him there. Shout out to him when we're going back to the Jacksonville game. On 4th and 1, we run a sweep to Michael Bandy, the guy that was our 4th-string receiver that had, I believe, 4 catches maybe on the year. So it was really good to give him the ball in one of the biggest moments in your season. So Lombardi's, happy to have him gone. Kellen Moore, really excited. I know you guys are very familiar with him. He maybe hit his little too much time in Dallas, but hey, what are you going to do? But I'm excited to see what he can do with Herbert, and because of him, I actually like Herbert to have the most passing touchdowns this year, a plus 700. I love that just because I think Kellen Moore is going to go. I'm so excited to take that arm and use it every single Sunday. You're going to chuck it downfield early, chuck it downfield often. Let's get in the end zone. And we play terrible secondaries, Vikings, Titans, Ravens, Raiders is in the division, KC in week 6, and that defense doesn't become anything until about halfway through the season. So I think that's a pretty reasonable thing to bet on if you like that. 7-1, Herbert most passing touchdowns, and with the hope of good old Kellen Moore.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm excited that you're excited for Kellen Moore. We're excited to.
He's not that excited for Kellen Moore. You can tell Mario, he understands. Like, he's got his wits about him. He's got the self-awareness. He's just fired up. That beautiful smile you're seeing right there, Wolchuk, is just because Joe Lombardi's not there anymore.
No, that's an upgrade for them. No doubt about it. Kellen Moore's a solid offensive coordinator. It'll be interesting to see what he does there. I do want to ask you about the pressure coming into the season. You mentioned Brandon Staley. I think he's got to be on the hot seat.
Oh, that thing's warm.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, for Brandon Staley, what kind of season do you think he has to have to secure that he's back next year? And then kind of the same thing, Justin Herbert's one of these guys. I think I've talked to you about this before, Mario. To all the talent in the world, he's a top 10 quarterback. I'm not going to deny that. But I don't know that I've ever seen a dude get built up, hyped up, and anointed without really having done anything.
Yeah, they're in that spot. Herbert's in that spot where he's the analytic guys, the football diehard guys, people like us, it's like we see it in Herbert, right? Like we really see it. But then when you look on paper at what really, really matters, it's like, wow, one playoff game and you've lost to Trevor Lawrence. And when you see that, and then you're like, how am I going to put you at the 3rd best quarterback in the league? How am I going to take you over Josh Allen when you don't really have that? So I think it's a big year for him, not to mention a contract year for him. Let's see how much money he can get paid. We actually had a discussion on our show what type of money we expect from that, and if he deserves like a Lamar contract money, and does he deserve a Jalen Hurts contract money? And it was just something we went into for really, really long. But the one thing I wanted to mention right away, because you asked it, and Staley's seat can turn into a volcano really, really quickly this year. I mean, that thing could explode from heat quick. I think if he doesn't make a AFC championship run, he's out. He's out. This is the same organization that fired a coach after 14-2 and one and done in the playoffs. This is the same organization that did that. Staley as well. We're in a tight window. Mac's not getting any younger. Allen's not getting any younger. Mike Williams not getting any younger. J.C. Jackson not getting any younger, and he hasn't been the New England J.C. Jackson yet. So Eckler, probably last year with the team. He's probably out of here and gone forever. So the time is now, and if you don't hit it right now, pack up your bags, join old Joe, and go ahead and get out. Because we got to win now, and it's title right now, and boy, we got to do something and win with Herbert, because we're in this time too, guys. Yeah. If he doesn't win, see you guys. Let's have a good one. I'm going to go get paid somewhere else. Have a good one.
Yeah, he'll go be one of the best D coordinators in the league, man. He'll be a hot commodity from a coordinator standpoint. But you heard it here first, man. Mario's putting that in 3-inch headlines. Hit it, and hit it now.
AFC championship or bust for Staley. Okay, so what are your predictions? What do you think ultimately?
Bust.
As we're in July, getting set for training camps next week, what's your feeling, huh? What's your feeling for the Chargers this year?
So my feeling is I pray for AFC championship. But I think this team can make the playoffs. Like, I don't know the future number on them to make the playoffs, but I think this team makes the playoffs. I think they win one playoff game. When we get to the second round, I think that's when they get bounced. I do not feel good at all with this team going up against Cincinnati Bengals possibly in the second round, right? Kansas City for the third time, right? A Buffalo Bills at Buffalo. Like, guys, I grew up in the Midwest, right? And growing up at AAU, I played travel lacrosse and stuff. When us Midwest boys, when we got the California kids coming into our place and it's snowing and it's cold, I'm wearing no sleeves, baby. I'm laughing. I go, yeah, you're cold, little boy. You're cold. You're cold, and I'm warm. I love this. This is where I thrive. I was born in this. I didn't go to the hospital. I was born in the snow. I was raised in the snow. It's great. And that scares me with the Los Angeles Chargers. If we go to second round, we got the Buffalo Bills at Buffalo. That doesn't seem good to me, man. I mean, that seems like a very tough matchup.
The intimidation factor. They're not just doing jumping jacks. They're doing shirtless snow angels, and they're like,
yeah,
it's so comfortable. It's warm. It's like, this is delightful. Somebody give me some cold water here.
What were you playing in lax, by the way? Were you a midi? Were you a long pole guy, short pole?
You look like a lax guy.
So I did play, not a lax guy, because I think lax guy has a little bit of tools. I would like to put on the record, not that big of a tool. Okay. Got some qualities, but
yeah.
I played LSM deep pole. Yeah, that was my position. Was good with the checks. Yeah.
Olchuk was more of an LSD guy in high school and college, but tomato, to each his own. Mario, this is going to be an exciting season, dude. This is going to be an exciting season. I hear that you do a ton of bet payoffs on your BetQL show that you produce. Now you host the Bolt City podcast, and it's pulling in numbers and it's crushing. What show are you producing for BetQL, and what's the worst payoff you've done? And you got like 45 seconds to share this information.
All right, so worst one, I'll go real quickly. Bet for the cycle, we do Parlay V Parlay Challenge. Vegemite was by far the worst thing ever. I threw up on air, and I was about 2 months into the job, so I thought that was probably a lot of fun and probably really good for the bosses.
Vegemite.
Yeah, Vegemite.
It's an Aussie thing.
It's an Aussie thing, and you're supposed to put like that much on it, and I did a spoonful, and I threw up. I'll send you the video. I still have it.
Oh, please do.
So it's disgusting, or
yes, it's disgusting. It smells like poop. It smells like literally like it looks like poop.
So Vegemite worse than the spicy.
Yes, worse than spicy. Slept on best one. I had to go dressed up as the Crow and go to a steakhouse. Best time I've ever had at a steakhouse. Got free drinks. My food was paid for. I drove there, left in an Uber. Great time. Was taking pictures with people. It was a blast. So I was like, I kind of want to do that again, guys. Like that backfired on you. So it was a good time.
Dude, that's how you know the weekend took a turn for the different when you drove somewhere and then you Ubered home. was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna leave my car here.
I
I
can't
think I'm just
drive.
gonna leave my car here tonight and cross my fingers by morning. Mario, this has been a real treat, my brother. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Let's football our balls off, and we look forward to catching up with you soon when Brandon Staley gets fired. We'll see you, brother.
Take care, bro.
Thanks, guys. Bolt up.
Bolt up, baby. That's right. Wolchuk likes to tighten up, like Vince Young.
Tighten up, baby.
But we can
Tighten
bolt
up.
up. We can bolt up. Let's bolt up with these running backs. What the bleep is going on with these running backs in the NFL next in the nation?